Ride along live worldwide. Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good beat. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island, strong with the host, we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island, strong with the host, we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride is sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
RideAlong Live, welcome to the live. Welcome to Monday. Monday on the ride. Yes, welcome. Guys, this Monday, right now, everything should stop. Like everything, I want you guys to stop doing whatever you was doing before you started to watch the live. Like whatever you was doing, whatever you was getting involved in, whatever small talk you was having on the phone, cut that out right now because we have very important information for the entire community. I mean, this is significant development and information that everyone should pay attention to right now. This is no joke, no laughing matter. This is serious. So this is what I want you guys to do. Because this is a matter of public importance. It is for the entire community, especially for those of you who have family members and friends living here in the United States. For those of you who have loved ones who reside in the United States. And in fact, for everyone, because even folks that's living in the Caribbean, this information will significantly affect you. So you should know, be in the know. In fact, guys, we had a different program lined up for today. But because this is an important notification, some important information that we want to get out to the general public, we decided to stop everything else and just deal with this today. So what I want you guys to do is tag like you never tagged before. Add followers like you never add followers before. In fact, I'm going to do the same thing right now. I have some friends and family that I know after the program would always call me and ask me, for the information regarding what we spoke about. So I want to make it blatantly clear that everyone should be watching this program. We have immigration expert Diane Winter-Funde, who will be chatting with us on the new way forward for immigration and what is being doing, what is in fact in progress right now, what is fact, what is fiction, what are myths. And we're going to be discussing it right now. So share the program, guys. Everybody share. Add followers, everyone. Let me put this on my front of my page right now. Let me add followers this. Add followers. Hold on. While I do that and we get everyone, let me just say hi to a few people. Add followers. Karen Archibald, thank you so much for sharing this and add followers. Thank you. Rhonda, how you doing? Susan Thomas, thank you so much. I want you to add followers, everybody. This is serious. Let me add followers on my page as well. There we go. Boom. That's it right there. And let me tag this up to the top of my page so everyone would see it. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? Thank you so much. Karen, thank you. Add followers here and pin this up to the top. All right. Okay. Just tag everybody you know. Tag everybody. Tag friends. Yes, exactly. Miss Redhead, thank you so much for tagging. Add followers. All right, guys. So there have been, over the past couple days and weeks, there have been significant update in immigration procedures here in the U.S. In addition, there have been a lot of things that have been circulating that are myths. There are some things that are people just putting out there to scare people, right? I've always said on this program right here, it's important to get the raw and direct information. Hence the reason why RideAlong is here, and hence the reason why we have that relationship with the #1 immigration attorney in the US. I mean, probably in the whole entire world, Diane Winterfunde. She's a no-nonsense kind of person. So I thought it was very important that we have this discussion here today and bring back on my sister, Diane Winterfunde, who right now is in Jamaica, but had to cut her piece of a vacation or workation kind of short to be here. You see that? She's yeah. Show them again. Show them a piece of Jamaica.
Just showing up a little bit, not a lot.
Not a lot. You see that? So she's cutting piece of her workation short simply because she needed to be here to talk to us about what is happening. Diane Winterfunde, once again, my sister, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. Good evening, TikTok. Good evening, RideAlong family. I hope everybody's having an amazing, amazing Monday. What can I say? How you doing, Mr. George? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Long time, like what? Like 2 weeks, like a week and a half ago?
A week and a half. That is a long time, sir. That is an absolutely long time.
Yes. All right. So, Diane, listen, we have much to talk about. We have a lot to discuss right here. A lot of things are happening. Where should we start? New immigration law, Diane, that will be affecting Caribbean people in particular, right? And we're hearing about self-deportation. We're hearing about DACA recipients. We're hearing about people who are processing and in the process of submitting the application. What should someone listening this right now? Let's talk about DACA recipient. What is the position? Sorry, I should say start with DACA. What is the position of DACA recipients right now?
So right now, DACA is DACA. We still cannot add any new applications to DACA. So if you qualify for DACA, you cannot apply for DACA simply because you qualify, because that's frozen and it has been frozen for some time. So our current DACA recipients are not being affected, but at the same time, those individuals that are new, you might qualify, you still cannot submit a new DACA application.
Right.
And for those of you that are wondering, DACA, deferred action for childhood arrivals, you cannot submit any new application, not at this point.
So who is really in that framework of DACA? Explain who really falls under that DACA.
So those are individuals that entered the United States with maybe by a parent, an aunt, someone brought them into the United States through no fault of their own, right? And they have no lawful entry. What then President Obama said is, look, we will defer any actions against you. In other words, good evening, Miss Denise, good evening. In other words, what we're going to do is that you won't be affected, you won't be deported, right? And so the action is deferred. Keep in mind, Jay, you're not getting a green card. You're getting
Right.
authorization to work inside of the United States, and then you keep renewing that. You just keep renewing that. So it's deferred action for childhood arrivals, meaning we're not going to deport you because one, you didn't come into this country by your own. Somebody brought you in. And so we won't deport you. However, no one can submit a new application for DACA. Cannot be submitted.
Have you been seeing in recent months, have you been seeing an increase in attacks on DACA, meaning that people are being hassled? Have you been getting any calls from these recipients?
Not a lot of DACA recipients have. I'm not getting a lot. The ones that we're getting calls from are those that have gotten into a little bit of legal problems, meaning they have some kind of criminal convictions that they cannot renew their DACA. So those are the ones that we're hearing from. They maybe got a DUI or they got some other kind of criminal. They've gotten involved with law enforcement, for example. And so those are the ones we're hearing from. I'm not hearing from a lot of, like DACA. I'm not hearing a lot of scuttlebutt from my DACA recipients.
Okay, all right. What about the process of obtaining your permanent resident in the United States through marriage? Have any one of these affected right now? Someone who is in the process of filing the I-130 petition.
Here's what I tell people. If you have an I-130, go file your I-130. The law in and of itself, Jay, has not changed since this new administration. The law hasn't changed. What the president has said, what the current administration has said is they're going to be stricter. They're going to want to make sure that whatever marriage you're under, they want to make sure that marriage is real. So they've said, hey, let's put in some stricter guidelines, both inside of the United States and at the U.S. consulate overseas. So the law haven't changed. If I'm married to someone, can I still file the I-130? Absolutely. Should I still file the I-130? Yes. Don't even wait. Run, don't walk. You can still file your I-130. You're still eligible for adjustment of status through your marriage. The law hasn't changed.
But what about people now who are scared that go into the process of filing that document now? Should they be fearful?
Listen, if you have an option, meaning you enter the United States lawfully, you've never gone through a criminal conviction, you're married to a United States citizen, you're eligible to get your green card through marriage, don't be scared, file that application. Because here's the flip side of that. The executive order says if you're here more than 14 days, less than 2 years, and you haven't filed any application at all, then you should be targeted for deportation.
Repeat that.
So which boat do you want to be in?
Repeat that, Funde. If you are here.
So the law, what the law says, the new executive order, let's do immigration math. It says if you've entered the country, you entered the United States, you are inside of the United States for more than 14 days. So anybody, today is what? Let me check. Today is what day, for example?
24th.
Today's the 25th. So if you entered the United States more than 14 days ago, and you've been here year 1, year 2, and you haven't filed an application with immigration, you're going to be targeted for deportation. Because why are you here? You're just here sitting around. So for those people that haven't filed an application and you have an option, go for it. Go for it. Because if you're just here and you get picked up by ICE, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, Jay, but if you have an option to file an application with immigration, whether it's through marriage, whether it's a parent filing for a child filing for a parent, I would say go for it. Go for it.
Right. Okay. So all the ways before filing, like through marriage, through what other ways? All these other ways that exist,
Employment.
employment, all these other ways, it still exists. You could still petition in these ways to obtain your legal your legal permanency here, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, I'm just a bill and I'm sitting here, and the president cannot change immigration law. What he does is he puts some little executive orders in place to terrorize people, to make people scared, to make people want to self-deport. That's the calls I'm getting. Miss Winter, should I just pack my bag and leave? Absolutely not.
Mm,
That's I think that was the whole purpose of some of those executive orders and some of the rumors, some of the myths that we hear, is to get people, like scared. That's all,
I
to
see.
get us scared and self-deport. Everything that was in place. Can you apply for naturalization if you're qualified? Yes. Can you
Mhm.
file for someone because you married someone and you want to bring your wife in? Absolutely. That has not changed, Junior. You can still take advantage. Hasn't changed.
What are some of the other myths? Because it seems like there are a lot of myths that's scaring a lot of people. Because we get the calls all the time.
One
What
of
are
the
some of the
myth is
yeah.
that, go ahead.
No, I'm saying what are the other myths that you're hearing?
One of the myth is that if you file an application, then ICE is going to come and look for you. Like, so I don't want to use my address to file an application because that is telling the government where I am. That's a myth because the government already knows where you are. So I get a lot of people that say, I don't want to file the application, Miss Winter, because now, immigration is going to know my address. That is a myth. That is an
Okay.
absolute myth.
Lydia is asking, if you married and you hold a green card, can they deport you?
No, 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 Miss Lydia, unless you break the law. Did you break the law? Remember that your green card makes you a lawful permanent residence. You have to protect it, Jay. Right? You
Hmm.
can't live like you that love to travel so much. You would have been in a little pickle right now because you live in Guyana, you live in here, you live in there. They would have some Grenada. They would have some questions for you. But they can't just deport you with your green card unless you break the law.
I see. I see. So first myth for the people who hold a green card, um, you living your regular life, you doing your regular thing. It is very unlikely that you would get deported just being a regular citizen. But as you always told me that a green card is kind of like an upgraded visa,
It is. It is. A green card is an updated visa. That's all it is.
right?
You can stay up here
Right.
a little bit longer. That's all. That's
Right.
all a green card is.
Rhonda is asking, so why are they just picking up people who already have their papers?
If you mean those individuals that have a green card, Miss Rhonda, they might have broken the law. They may have gotten arrested, right? They would have broken the law. They have a green card, and now they become a priority. But for the layman walking around who have their green card or are a citizen, if they pick you up, they're going to do so, question you, make sure it's you, and then release you so long as there's nothing to hold you for.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So they may stop you. For example, they're doing an ICE raid. A couple months ago, Jay, you and I talked about the ICE raids in Panama City or wherever. They may just grab a group of 10 people. They go check you. Listen, Miss Winter, what is your name? What is your social security number? Oh, I'm a US citizen. They're going to let me on my way. Of course, they're not going to apologize, but they're going to let you go about your business. However, if you have your papers, Miss Rhonda, and you're breaking the law, they may pick you up and keep you.
Hmm.
They may pick
Hmm.
you up and keep you.
Antoinette, sorry, is asking, if you have a green card, how long can you stay out of the US?
So again, immigration math. 6 months if you plan to apply for naturalization. 6 months keep you from breaking your continuous presence.
Hmm.
If you have a green card and you want to stay longer than 6 months, up to a year, You can stay up to a year without abandoning your green card. Once you start to stay a year outside of the US, they're going to say you have abandoned your green card. So 6 months up to a year. 6 months if you want to apply for naturalization, Jay, and then a year if you don't want to say you abandon your green card.
Right. Okay. Next question coming in here. What if you hold a green card and it's been expired for a year? What can happen? It's expired.
Nothing. You just need to renew it or apply for naturalization, Miss Redhead.
Right. Okay. Okay. Lydia is over on Facebook, on YouTube, sorry, because she cannot comment on Facebook. I really apologize, Lydia. We're still
Okay.
working to fix that problem. She cannot comment at all on Facebook because of a problem that we had. But guys, you could call in live. The number that you could call in live is 718-701-5720. We're taking your question right here on the live, 718-701-5720. Now, we heard about the ICE or immigration now would be checking your social media accounts, right? When you go in to file for citizenship. Tell us about that. And is that just a myth or is that practical? Is that happening now?
So it's a myth and it's true, but this has been since 2019. So a lot of what we're seeing is just a little bit of push on some things. And it's not only for naturalization. Social media is a big part of what we do and who we are. And the role of social media is changed. For example, Jay, if you and I married, wouldn't I put that I'm married to you on social media? Wouldn't there be pictures of me and you on my social media? Wouldn't I talk
Sometimes,
about my husband on social sometimes?
not all the time, not
Sometimes.
all the time.
But
Sometimes,
there shouldn't be a picture of me and somebody else. It
right,
shouldn't be a me. It should. So there may not be a picture of you and I, but it shouldn't
right,
be me and John Brown
right.
because I'm
So
married to
what
Junior
they're
George.
looking for compliance if your marriage
Yes.
is valid.
Yes, they use it. It's like a sneaky way into your world. It's like this sneaky way into your world. This has been since 2019 for naturalization to see if you have what we call good moral character. They just haven't been really pushing it so much. But I can tell you, even for marriage-based green card interviews, folks, open your ears and listen. They can look to both your social media accounts. Because if you over there posting that you're married to someone else and you live in Georgia, and I'm posting that I live in New York, it can pose a problem.
Right, right. Okay. We got a caller on the line. Let me see if I could bring that caller up right now on caller you live. Where you calling us from?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, I have a question.
Go right
How
ahead.
are you?
Yes, good.
So my question is basically, if I just got out of removal and I got a green card and the judge gave me a waiver, can I travel? Will they like, hey, you have a criminal record. Yes, you got a waiver, but I'm going to take back the green card.
So I understand, and we'll say hypothetically you're talking about someone else because we don't want to hear your own business. So typically, once you go through the
Right.
process of getting a waiver, for example, you have a green card, you got into a little bit of trouble, you go in front of the judge, and you got your waiver, your attorney sorted you out. Typically, it's not washed away, but it's forgiven. They're not going to put you back in deportation. What's going to happen is once you start to travel, each time you travel, you're asking to be admitted into the United States. Please, if you're not a citizen, you're begging them to admit you. So it will not be uncommon for you to go to what we call secondary screening. So it's going to be a hassle for a little bit because now they're going to want to check everything that you've said. So my next advice for you would be to naturalize. If you got everything waived and you can prove good moral character, go ahead and naturalize, but they won't put you back into deportation for the same thing that you came out of deportation from. But they're going to put you into secondary screening
Because I
and
just got a green
verify.
card about a week ago, so I guess I have to wait, right?
If you've only just gotten your green card 5 years, And it depends whether it's 3 years married to a U.S. citizen or 5 years, or I don't know if it was cancellation
Still
of
married.
removal. I'm sorry?
I'm still married.
Okay, so it's through marriage. Yes. So if you just got it, you got to wait a little
Yeah.
bit, 3 years to naturalize, but they're not going to put you back into deportation for something that you just came out of deportation from. What they're going to do, like I said,
Yeah.
is secondary screening. It's going to be a hassle whenever you come back into the country. It's just going to
Will
be a
they
hassle.
deny me
Get
though? Like,
used to
oh,
it.
I'm not going to put you in, even though you got it from a judge.
He asks if they'll call. Ask the question again. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear the last question. I'm sorry.
Hey, okay, I saw that you got everything. Everything is good. Will they have the power to say, I'm still going to deny you, even though you got it from the judge? With everything going
All
on.
right. So there's
Can they
only
say that?
one person, sir. There's only one person that can take away your green card, and that is an immigration judge. What
Okay.
CBP and ICE do, they detain you, they hold you, meaning CBP, Customs and Border Patrol at the airport, they're going to put you in the back. I call that secondary screening and ask you a lot of questions. They cannot take your green card. Can they physically take it? Yes, but they cannot take away your status. Only an immigration judge can take away your green card.
All right, caller. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
going to
for.
call your office.
Okay, do that.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir.
All right, thank you, caller. Again, number 718-701-5720. Interesting question here. Can anything happen to a person who illegally crossed the border from Canada under a truck? Wow. But is now married to a citizen, got permanent resident. She just filed for citizenship. Can she have problems, or can that person have problems?
What kind of problems? I mean, if she has her green card, I imagine they did what they were supposed to do to get the green card. Go ahead, call us and let's see. I love that they crossed under a truck,
Wow,
but they have the green card.
yeah,
They have the
yeah.
green card. Jay, I need 2 seconds to turn my air on. I forgot to turn. I'm in the
No, no,
Caribbean. It's hot.
no, yeah, hot. It's hot. Yeah, Gianna Winter Funday is live with us right now, guys. So what you could do is give us a call live. You could call on the WhatsApp 718-701-5720. Put a number up right there, or you could call direct. So you could call on the WhatsApp, or you could call direct. The number again 718-701-5720. We're chatting here again with Gianna Winter Funday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I want to make it clear so everyone understand this. The process of obtaining your green card is still the same. And persons who just got married and in the process of filing that petition should still go ahead. Nothing changed. You're not going to be deported because you're filing now.
Correct.
Okay.
Nothing. There is a process. Under the law, we're not making it up as we go. The process for obtaining your green card, whether it's through marriage, whether it's through employment, whether it's through a father filing for a child filing for a father, all of that is the same. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Absolutely, absolutely. 718-701-5720 is the number to call. I want us to talk about the deportation procedures and the process, right? Because we're hearing a lot of things. We're hearing about Wall Act and all these different things, deportation and all this stuff. What has changed in terms of deportation?
A lot has changed.
Okay.
You asked what has changed about DACA? Not much. What has changed with deportation? Everything.
Wow.
Everything. Because remember, Jay, the people that are being placed in deportation either have no papers at all,
right,
or they're in the middle of getting their papers, so they're not citizens, or they're green card holders who have messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They either have no papers.
Yeah.
They are in the middle of getting their papers, or they're green card holders and they have messed up. U.S. citizens, they won't find themselves in deportation. So we don't need to really talk about U.S. citizens. We're not going to see them we might see them get caught up in a raid, but we don't see them in deportation. So for those that are, say you came across the border and you have no papers, You go driving, you get a DUI, they're placing you in deportation. They're placing you in deportation. It's happening. It's happening. You're in the middle of getting your papers. You file your asylum application. You messed up. They stop you. They're going to place you. And by placing you in deportation, Jay, it's still a process.
Right.
Remember, it's still a process. It's not like they take you and put you on a plane. I know people are talking about these plane loads of people that are being sent to other countries. Remember, those people either had a criminal history and have no papers. They've been before a judge before, ordered deported. So when you look at each and every case, there's something about them, why they're being held, why they're being detained. There is something about them why they're being detained.
Right.
Ask any one of them. They came across the border and they're here. They overstayed a visa and they're here. They got their green card and they're here and they messed up. Drug charge, driving under the influence, whatever criminal conviction. There's something else there.
So do you recommend for some of our, some of our folks here who go like travel domestically, they may not have a green card, but they may travel from, say, New York to California by air. Do you recommend that? Or what's your take on that?
I recommend to sit tight for a little bit. Don't get caught up in the rat race. If you gotta see somebody in California, have them come see you. Because we know that there's border patrol, there's ICE officers, they're everywhere. And I'm not meaning to scare you, but before you were considered a low priority, now they've made you a priority. So we know there are ICE officers, there's border patrol, they're in the airports, they're close to the port of entry. Within 100 miles of any land border, you can be stopped. So there's a lot of things going on where I would say, if I had to go to California, I had to go to Mexico, New Mexico, or I had to go to Arizona, I would just sit tight for a little bit and let the dust start to settle. Let the dust start to settle.
Right. Jarrell is asking a question here. My green card expired in 2026. What should I do?
Behave yourself, sit tight. If you're eligible for naturalization, go ahead and apply for it. Don't break the law. Don't stay out of the United States for more than 6 months up to a year, unless you get a re-entry permit. Pay your taxes. Don't beat up nobody. Don't get arrested for no crime. And then renew your green card.
Okay. Suzette is asking, how about the ones who are able to obtain a driver's license and not have legal status? What's going to happen when they need to renew, especially for the new ID?
Yes,
New ID?
that is a good question, right? We know some of those IDs. We know the countries that are, we call them the CHNV countries. I hope I got that right. So we know like Cuba, the countries that are really going to be affected, Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and there's another one. Those are the countries that are highly affected because a lot of the programs that help them to get those identification cards, they're coming to an end. There's a date certain, like, okay, for April, we know it's ending for Venezuela. By August, it ends for Haiti. So we have over 500,000 people, Jay, in that category where we don't know what's going to happen. It's almost a wait and see. But they will not be able to renew those driver's license based on the program under which they are. They will not be able to renew them. They won't be able to renew them.
I got you. So just to update, as far as, but before I update, what are some of the additional things that change in the deportation? Is due process still there?
Due process is still there for some. If you've had a prior removal order, they're just sending you home. Somebody talks about the plane load of people landing in, I think it was Grenada, they said at the top of the hour. Yeah, those people had deportation orders. Most have already been in front of a judge. They just never left when they should have left. They have criminal history record. So what we're seeing is a priority on deporting those individuals. So what has changed? Everything now is speed up when it comes to deportation.
Right. Someone is asking here, someone who is a U.S. citizen was in Grenada in December and was returning to the U.S. and was randomly selected for secondary screening in Grenada. Is that normal or usual thing?
Yeah, it's possible they want to make sure. Remember, airlines get find a lot of money if they put the wrong person on that flight. They're just wanting to make sure, right documents. Jay, let me tell you something. I travel a lot. Coming out of Jamaica, a lot of times I'm selected randomly. My bags are ripped apart. Miss Winter, I'm in Jamaica, every month, every other month? When I land, you best believe sometimes when I'm taking off, I get selected for random screening.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I get
Yeah,
checked.
man, and they ask you a couple questions. Were you in control of your bag the whole time? Did anybody give you anything to carry? And I say, I wish. Nobody gave me nothing. And you
Mhm.
just continue on your way. It's not unusual to be selected for secondary screening. Not unusual at all.
Right. Someone here said that I just got married to a U.S. citizen outside of the U.S., but my visa got revoked before married. Would this cause any issues with the application process for my green card?
It will. It will. It absolutely will. Because there's a reason why that visa was revoked. It was either fraud, misrep, used for the purposes not intended, and the list can go on and on. There
Hmm.
will be a problem at the consul. The I-130 will be approved, Jay. All of the
Hmm.
stuff before will be approved. When it's time for that person to get their green card, they're going to have some questions about that revocation, that cancellation.
How do you appeal? How does that person appeal that?
Waiver. You can file a waiver. They have waivers in place.
Okay.
And a
So that,
waiver is a forgiveness.
uh-huh.
You ask for forgiveness. We call it a waiver. It's an application that you have to file to say, explain. I wish I could ask that person more question because there's a reason why your visa would have been revoked or canceled.
Hmm.
So I would need to find out what that reason is. There's
Okay.
a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason.
This next one is how about the people get 2 years green card and get the driver's license and divorce before the 2 year status change? Can they renew their driver's license?
So long as they're in status and they remember to remove the conditions of the 2 year green card, they should be okay. Remember, when you get your 2 year green card, that is step one. Step two is 90 days before your 2 years, you need to be removing your conditions from your green card.
Right, right. What if
So
you
you
fail
don't get
to
to, even
what
if
if
you
you fail to
divorce, go
what
ahead,
if you fail to remove those conditions?
then your 2 year green card is dead. You don't have a green card. It's dead because they have you sign at the interview saying that remember you have to remove those conditions
Hmm.
within 2 years. If you don't do it in 2 years, I would do it now. You can do it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but you have to do it.
Right. Justin want to know, can you do a post conviction
Ooh,
with a federal crime to get U.S. citizenship?
ooh. Justin must be a lawyer. Justin says PCR, post conviction relief, is one of the tools we use as attorneys, Jay, to go back and fix the crime, fix the conviction. There's certain offenses in the world of criminal immigration law that gives what we call a permanent bar to certain benefits.
Uh-huh.
So when we look at someone who has a criminal conviction, we look at, is there any post conviction relief? Is there any relief after post conviction? Meaning you've been convicted, you've done your 10 years, and now you're like, I can't naturalize, I can't travel, I don't want to be deported. So we go back and we do PCR, post conviction relief on that crime. And absolutely, I just had a case. He must be reading my Facebook page. I just had someone that we went back and did post conviction relief with who was able to naturalize. It is a very expensive process.
Mm.
And it's that, yes, because you have to get an immigration lawyer, a criminal lawyer. You got to go back to the judge that gave you the conviction and you got to fix it. Then you go to immigration.
Mm.
So,
The
but it's
process.
something that we have done successfully in our firm.
Right. Justin said correct crime
Doesn't
happened 10 years
matter.
ago. Doesn't
The
matter.
last one I did on my Facebook page, follow me on Facebook. I did one about 2 weeks ago. His crime was the 1990s.
Wow.
1990. Immigration is a jealous mistress. They remember everything.
Mm.
They remember everything.
Donnet wants to know, can you self-deport without having an issue at the airport? You say, I'm Trinidadian and I have a Trinidadian
No,
passport. Would I get
no.
stopped at the airport?
No, goodbye. They'll just tell you goodbye, done it, sorry. Once you land, though, they're going to probably have some questions for you.
Hmm.
You won't have questions on departing because it's your Trinidadian passport. Trinidad has to take you um, and go back from there. So, yes, you can self deport. Keep in mind, you're now barred from the US for maybe 10 years. If you've been here over a year, you're going to be barred for 10 years before you can come back to the United States.
Right, right. Kendra is asking, Junior, someone I know got 2 years and they sent them a letter that they must travel with because the green card 10 years are
Yeah,
backlog.
yeah.
Can they travel?
So normally when you apply to remove the conditions from your green card, thank you TikTok, thank you TikTok. Normally when you apply to, I'm getting all kinds of gifts on
Yeah.
TikTok,
Oh,
Jay. So I'm
nice.
just
Beautiful.
acknowledging my fans. Thanks
Thank
guys, thank you for watching. I'm on Ride Along Live. Make sure you follow him. So with a 2-year green card, Jay, normally you apply to remove the condition. It takes a little bit of time. Now it's taking 48 months. So
mm,
what they do, they send you a letter. It's like a thick paper. You
hmm.
travel with that, your green card and your passport, and it's good for re-entry to the United States. It says you have filed the correct application, Kendra, the 751, to remove the conditions, but they're backlogged. So here's this paper for now. It's going to take 48 months. So it's like
Mm,
they automatically extend the green card. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't file it. You have to file it, Kendra. You must file it, and they'll send you a letter saying, hang on, it'll take 48 months. In the meantime, go on, use this piece of paper to travel.
right, right, right.
So that's absolutely correct.
JB has a question I don't quite understand. So if JB could retype that question, say someone has a green card and probably gone back
Going back
home
home,
while renewing my passport.
something got cut off.
Yeah, something I could have. So just retype that question there,
Really good
JB, over
questions.
there
Really good
on
questions.
YouTube. And of course, we're asking you guys, you could also call in 718-701-5720. We're talking to Diane Winter Funday on app, application and immigration. So get your questions in really quickly, guys. We don't have a lot of time, but we try to do this for you. If you have a green card and you get a speeding ticket, can it affect you getting your citizenship, even if you pay the ticket?
So if you have your green card, you get a speeding ticket. Will it affect any future applications? It depends. Were you speeding in a school zone?
Oh,
Are you speeding regularly? How often are you speeding? Are you in that super speeder, meaning you're going 80 in a 35, reckless driving? It
mhm.
really depends. If you're going 5 over, you pay the little ticket, you should be fine. You should be fine. But the speeding, that answer, I will have to say, it depends. I need to know, is this a regular thing? I've had a client before, Jay. He was a delivery driver. He had a lot of DUIs. I could not get them to naturalize him because they said he had a reckless regard for the law because he's
Okay.
always speeding, always speeding.
Right. Jarrell wants to know how long would it take how long would it take to get my citizenship in April? How long would it take if
If
I
he
start
starts
my
in
citizenship in
April,
April? So, yes,
we
sorry.
can see anywhere in states like Florida, 8 to 12 months. New York may run you 16 months. It depends on your field office, how busy they are.
Okay.
How busy they are.
So JB typed that question over. Someone has a green card and gone
Oh,
back home while renewing the passport. The immigration suspected passport forgery. What happens now?
they need to call an immigration lawyer, 813-807-7015.
Yeah, I think you need to send a lot
They're in a
slower.
little bit of problems. They in a little there's some questions I have because what happened, Jada, once even though you have the green card,
Uh-huh.
something comes up under it that might trigger something. If they feel like, wait a minute, so this passport was fraudulent the whole time, it could be a problem. It could be an absolute problem.
Okay. Branda is saying here that not everybody they pick up has a criminal record. It's not true. What about dual citizen?
So we didn't say everybody has a criminal record. We said some people overstay, some people cross the border, some people are green card holders. Remember, I think I put them in like all these different categories of who could potentially be picked up. So there's a whole bunch of people. Not everybody has a criminal records. Some people, all they did was they broke immigration law. They came across the border. That's illegal. You will be picked up. Some people, they overstayed a B1, B2, they will be picked up. So I put them in different categories. Not everybody rolled out will have, I agree with you, not everybody has a criminal record. There's all these categories. You've been here more than 14 days, less than 2 years, and you haven't filed an application with immigration, they're picking you up.
Next question: can someone without a green card acquire a driver's license? And well, that's a
It
state,
depends. It's state specific.
right? It's state specific, so it depends on the state. I know that in New York they had that where you could get your driver's license, but that is becoming so much of a problem right now. I don't know if that's still in place, but that's different in each state that you go to.
I think about 14 or 15 states will give a driver's license to somebody who is undocumented.
Right.
You can get a green card in about 14, maybe 15 states.
Okay. But is that wise now, knowing that you don't you're out of status and filing for a driver's license? Is that would you recommend it?
I wouldn't, because a lot of times how they get the green card is they travel to the state and put all kind of stories together to say, because remember, for New York to give me a driver's license, I must be living there. So we have people
Right.
from all over the place going to especially Connecticut. Connecticut will give you a driver's license without certain things. So a lot of people journey to Connecticut to get that driver's license. So I would say just be careful. Just be absolutely, absolutely careful.
Right. Absolutely. Now, the people that are watching from the Caribbean right now, they're sitting there and they're saying, with all of this stuff happening in the US, should I still, or can I still apply for a visa to travel to the US? Has anything changed in that regard?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can apply for your visa. I looked at the numbers. I started my morning on Nationwide this morning, which is a local radio station here. And last year, over 14,000 visitors' visa were allotted to Jamaican nationals. So yes, you can still apply for your visa. The United States is still open for business. All that is happening is they've started to deport a lot more people. However, they're still giving out visas to visit the United States.
Right. And when you come to visit the United States, you're not eligible to work, or you should not work, and
You should be
you
visiting.
should be visiting.
And they
At
will
least
turn you around at the airport if they open your phone and see you talking to someone about, hey, I can start working on January 4th. I can start working on January 5th. They will turn you around.
right. Absolutely no working. So someone else on YouTube is asking, good night. How about someone in Grenada for 4 months with a green card, and they're due to return next month? Will there be a problem?
So it shouldn't be a problem. They may send you to secondary screening to find out why is it you have a green card when you say you intend to live and work in the US, but you've been in Grenada for 4 months. I would recommend free advice, get a re-entry permit. If you're knowing you're going to be gone to Grenada for these long periods of time, get a re-entry permit. It allows you to stay outside of the country for 2 years, 2 whole years. Get a re-entry permit, please. I'm begging you.
Right.
Re-entry permit.
If someone has citizenship, right? They have citizenship. And I'm hearing a lot of things about denaturalizing and denaturalization of individuals. Is that practical? And how easy, how difficult is that to denaturalize someone?
So denaturalization is a process. It will take a very, very long time. Very, very long time. Can it be done? Yes. Acts of treason. There's certain things that you can do to be denaturalized. We haven't seen it used a lot. We've seen it used with like German nationals who participated in Nazi Germany, right? And they become citizens, and we found out later. So we haven't really seen denaturalization happen a lot, but yes, it can be done. It is a lengthy, lengthy process, because first they have to revoke they have to denaturalize you, then they have to revoke your green card. So it's 2 things, it's not one, because now you're a citizen, and if you had a green card, so you're not a citizen by birth, you're a citizen through naturalization, they would have to take 2 steps in order to take away that lawful status from you. Can it be done, Junior? Absolutely can be done.
But the grounds, it's much more difficult to process the
Very
process.
difficult, very difficult. Because now we're talking about the Constitution. Because remember, citizenship is covered under the United States Constitution. So it's going to be a lengthy, lengthy process. You must be a big fish.
Mm. Okay. All right. Again, 718-701-5720. I know a lot of people are asking for your number, and I have a feeling, Funde, if you usually get 100 calls after the program, you're going to get 500. People, yes. I mean, prepare your staff, because I'm telling you, people have so many questions.
Immigration boss on TikTok. Listen,
Yeah, immigration boss on TikTok, right? Immigration
immigration
boss.
boss on TikTok. Immigration. I don't know how to follow on WhatsApp, but Azera, I'm immigration boss on TikTok. Diani Winter Funde.
Right, check that out. Can someone who is awaiting their green card apply for a visitor visa?
Yeah, you can apply for it. I don't know if they're going to give it to you. The same rules apply. You got to show that you do not, like, you intend to return if they give you a visitor's visa. So yes, you can apply. I don't know if it will be granted.
Right, right. Okay, next question here. We're going fast and furious, guys. This is really
I
fast
love
and
this
furious.
question.
Yes. What's your response?
Yes, yes, yes. Employment, an employer can petition for you. You can petition for yourself if you have a bachelor's degree or higher, EB2. There's humanitarian ways. There's business where you invest inside of the United States. There's a lot of ways that you can get a green card. For the Caribbean, we just talk a lot about marriage. Marriage is not the only way to get a green card. Marriage is not. Your mother can file for you. Your child over 21 who is a citizen can file for you.
But the difference would be the time frame, right?
The time frame. Some of them are going to take. Marriage just goes a little bit faster, Jay. So a lot of people will be more inclined to say, let me get married because I don't want to wait. I do not want to wait.
Yeah, yeah. What about someone who is medically challenged right now? So they're in the Caribbean and they want to travel to the US possibly for medical reasons, right? What's the process?
Same, it's a B1, B2. But now the reason for traveling, that B1, B2, B1 business, B2 visitor, it's a powerful visa category. So you would apply for that same visa. You would get the letter from the hospital, whatever hospital you're going to say they're treating you for X. Say, for example, it's, I don't know, a surgery on the eyes.
Right.
You need a letter from the hospital. You need to show the consular officer that you have money to pay for your medical treatment. So the visa is the same, B1 business, B2 visitor, but now you're going to use the reason as medical. When they ask you why it's like you're going to a church trip, you say church trip, convention, you say convention. For this reason, you will use medical purposes. You got to show the bank account. You got to show who's paying for it. Where are you staying? Junior George is going to put me up. He's going to feed me. He said I can stay with him for 2 weeks before surgery, during surgery, and after surgery.
Right, right. Okay. What about folks who are traveling for education, school, further their education and stuff like that? Is that advisable in this atmosphere, in this climate that we're in right now?
Go for it, because remember, this administration is supporting legal migration. This administration is supporting people who are coming to the United States for the purposes intended on their visas. So if you're coming as a student, go to school. Don't land and then don't go to school.
Right.
If you're coming for medical treatment, go to medical treatment. If you're coming to work on your H-2B, when you land, go to your employer. Don't come off at Fort Lauderdale when you're supposed to be going to Panama City Beach, Florida.
Right.
Go where you need to go.
Ansel is asking, how long does it take for a parent filing for unmarried child?
We need to see the country and your priority date. We need your receipt notice. We can look at your country and priority date, and I can tell you exactly how many years you're waiting. Unmarried child, under 21, over 21. Under 21, of course, the time frame is going to be less. Unmarried and over 21, they'll be waiting a little bit more.
Andrew wants to find out, if you are a citizen and you're married and you are not paying your taxes, can you file for your husband or wife?
You can file for them, but we're going to need a co-sponsor. So when it's time, immigration, when you marry and you have to go to immigration, you got to show these financial reasons. And if you cannot, then it's going to be a problem. If it's cannot, it's going to be a problem. So you may need what we call a co-sponsor. You could say, look, I haven't filed my taxes. I'm not making enough money. So let me use somebody who can co-sponsor for me in order to prove that they will help me to support this individual.
Okay. Affidavit of support of some sort.
Yes, affidavit of support.
Okay, great. Absolutely. I know we're going fast here, Funde. Are we leaving out something? Is there something specific that you think that the audience should definitely know? While I look at all of
No, I would say for self-deportation, don't just pack your bags and leave. Don't pack your bags and leave. I would say at least talk to an attorney first and then decide if you want to leave the United States. Do not just pack your bags and leave because you're scared. A lot of what we're hearing, you will see that some of it is a myth. Some of it is an absolute myth. So I would just say, don't pack your bags and leave. At least talk to an attorney. Talk to someone.
Right. Okay. And that brings me to a question I asked earlier. Bring me back to a question I asked earlier in reference to self-deportation. People who are sitting in the U.S. right now, one, let's classify some situations that folks might be going through right now. One, they are not married, they're not in a position to get married, and they don't see themselves falling under any one of the criteria that we spoke about here in obtaining legal residence here in the U.S. Should they self-deport? What should they do? But this specific class of people.
I don't support, especially now we're in January, right? So February, March. So this administration has been in power for 3 months. I would not self-deport in 3 months. I wouldn't. I would talk to someone and see if there's any possible options out there. Maybe a U visa, maybe a T visa, some kind of visa that can get me through. I would not let this man bully me for me to leave the country. I wouldn't. Some people have been here 10, 15, 20 years. I would not self-deport.
Right. Okay. All right. So the advice is not to self-deport. Richard over there on YouTube is saying, if I have an outstanding medical bill while traveling on a B1 or B2 visa, will that affect my reentry while your B1, B2 visa is still valid?
I don't think it should. I'm thinking about ways in which it would. The only time you might see that play a role is for those individuals that came in junior to give birth to a child and did not pay their medical bills. We may see it play a role there.
Right.
We might say, I would be careful with that.
Right. Someone asked a question here. How does it work for a pregnant woman from the island traveling to the U.S. for medical reasons given birth? Is that still allowed?
They will still have the questions for you. Are you going to pay for it? Are you coming here to have the baby? For medical reasons, you need to be able to show the same things we talked about, Jane. Nothing's changed. Can you show where you're getting the medical treatment? You need to be able to show that. Can you also show where you are going to stay? Can you show where you're going to be paying for this treatment?
Right. Can a dual citizen still travel with the country's passport to enter, then re-enter with a U.S. passport?
Yes, I just did. I'm in Jamaica. I land on my Jamaican passport. I go back with my U.S. passport.
I do it all the time too.
I do it all the time.
Someone did a video.
I just did it last week. I did it Tuesday. Oh my God, I just got here Tuesday.
Yeah, I know where that question came from. Someone did a video stating that if they find that out, then it would be, they would deport you or something like that. And I don't see it happen. I don't understand it. You know?
The passports are legal documents. They are legal documents. As long as they're not fraudulently obtained, they're legal documents. Right. You get to land on your home country passport. Coming back into the U.S., you will have to use your United States passport.
Absolutely. I do that all the time. My visitor's visa was revoked during COVID period. I even tried going back for it. However, I was unsuccessful. What should I do? Why was it revoked? I don't know.
I would ask you why it was revoked. Maybe the travel history, overstay. I would have to talk to you to kind of find out why it was revoked.
Right. Yeah, because we won't know. Of course, the Funde won't know why it was
I wouldn't
revoked.
know.
So you could call and
know.
find that out. My mother filed for me, and the interview is in my home country, and it didn't go well. I am an adult over 60. Would I be
Would it
different?
be
Would it be difficult to
difficult?
adjust my status? Yes, sorry.
Yes, to adjust your status through your mother, it will be difficult next to impossible because of your age.
Mm-hmm.
Their age.
Okay. Next question here, fast and furious. If someone have on child support problem and have a green card, can they re-enter without being questioned? Child support problems.
That might be a problem, especially for naturalization. It probably won't be a problem at the green card stage, but once you get a U.S. passport, they will take your passport if you owe a lot of child support. Because you shouldn't be traveling if you owe child support. How are you buying airline ticket? That's the rationale. They're
That's
like,
the
how are you
rationale.
traveling?
Yeah. Okay. Again, guys, Fast and Furious 718-701-5720. Funde, I know we at that time. Anything else you wanted to add to the conversation right here?
So a lot of people are saying immigration law is changing. It's not changing, it's being enforced. If they've been listening to you and I since 2018, hey, file that application, stay out of trouble. They would have realized that no, it's not changing. The laws are now being enforced.
Okay. All right. So it's not necessarily, and I think you said that before, it's not necessarily there have been any change in the law, but they are now currently being enforced.
The laws are being enforced, yes.
One other question, Funde. If someone is currently, they probably they don't have the documents, and ICE is coming knocking at their door, how should they react to them? What should they do?
So if ICE knocks, I am of the opinion you don't answer. Ask them to put the warrant, the search warrant. Ask them to put that warrant that they have for your arrest, put it under the door. Just say, hey, whatever paperwork you have, please push it under the door. Take a look at it to make sure it's valid. A lot of times, ICE won't have a warrant. They just have an inkling that a lot of undocumented individuals living that building. And they just go from door to door and hope stuff happens. So my thing is, if ICE knocks, don't answer.
Right. It's important. So
Don't
they may
answer.
not even have any document on you.
No.
Oh,
No.
I see.
If you're out in public, it's a different story. But if you're inside of your home, ask them to just push that paper underneath the door. And my class has started. As you can see, I teach in 7 minutes.
Okay.
In 1 minute. I
you
teach in 2 minutes. 2 minutes
2 minutes.
past.
Okay. Fine. Last closing words, Funde, because I know you have to go. Your phone number, everything. Give that information
Okay.
so people can
Okay.
contact
So
you.
guys, listen, I'm attorney Deani Winter-Funde, and I love always coming on RideAlong. Jay, we got to do this more often. They have a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
Geez, you got to give me a show on your show.
Yeah,
give me
absolutely.
a show in your show.
Anytime.
All right. So I'm in Tampa, Florida. I can represent you anywhere. 813-807-7015.
813.
813-807-7015. Call the office, set up a consult. Our consultation fee is $175. 813-807-7015. If you're on TikTok, just DM me consult, and we'll be able to send you that link where you can book your own consultation. You can call and have our assistants help you book your consultation. Just say you're from the RideAlong family, so I'll be there to assist you. 813-807-7015.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Deani Winter-Funde. Guys, I want you to write a number down. Deani, you got to run. Thank you
Let
so
me get
much.
my picture. I gotta take my picture.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure being on your show, Jay.
Absolutely. Again,
Always a pleasure.
The number that you call for Deani Winter-Funde is 813-807-7015.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Have a good one. It's always a pleasure.
All right, great. Yeah, Deani Winter-Funde, guys. I said everything had to stop today and take this in because it is very important that we understand and we put aside the myth from the reality. The reality is, guys, there have been a lot of enforcement to the current immigration laws, right? There have been major enforcement to the current immigration laws. However, pay attention to this. There have been no new immigration law passed, which means that the executive order, all these executive order that you see Donald Trump is passing right now, is just a reinforcement memo, really. Essentially, that's what it is, a reinforcement memo of existing immigration laws, right? Stuff like people who are on the high priority list, if you have already received deportation notice, right? You in that class, might be in a high priority class. You might be sorted first. You might be seeked out first. However, there are people who go in about a regular day. ICE might make a sweep in a particular building, whether it's Brooklyn, Queens, wherever the case might be, and they might knock on your door and identify themselves as ICE. They may not even have a search warrant, and the law still stipulate and mandate that they provide a search warrant if they're going to come into your home. So the lawyer is saying, if that is the case, you should ask them to slip the search warrant under the door. You don't open the door for strangers, right? If they cannot provide a search warrant under the door, you do not open the door. And that is what the lawyer is saying. It's important that you understand that, all right? Absolutely. Guys, we're going to do this again another time. I know an hour is not enough, not sufficient, but Deanna Winterfund had previous obligations, and she had to attend to it. We're going to try to do it again in the week, because as we stand right now, I'm still getting a lot of messages on the WhatsApp and questions that have not yet been answered, and we apologize for that. But that's the time that we have for now. And we thank Deanna Winterfund. Again, guys, you could call her and book a consultation. The number is 813-807-7015. Ask your questions and get your paperwork sorted out. And also, guys, yes, we did have immigration conversation with folks from Canada as well. We're going to continue to do that. In fact, we're going to try to have a conversation where we have Canada, the US, and England, so we can get all the information for everyone out in the diaspora. Thanks to Deanna Winterfund, guys, and this program is brought to you by Ride Excursions and Tours. This program, uninterrupted, commercial-free, was brought to you by Ride Excursions and Tours. So, guys, you could go ahead and support the businesses that support RideAlong, that continue to give you information on a daily basis. All right? Of course, we also want to say thanks and big up to JetBlue and the Grenada Tourism Authority, GTA, giving you direct flight from Grenada, from the US, JFK to Grenada. Check out jetblue.com and book your flight right now. jetblue.com. While we're at it and we on telling you about the ride, guys, you could book your tuk-tuk tour and excursion to Ride Excursions and Tours at ride.gd as well. For more information, let's go to the ad.
Looking for the ultimate island experience? Hop on the Ride Tuk Tuk Rum Punch Tour and explore Grenada like never before. Feel the tropical breeze, sip on authentic Caribbean rum punch, and cruise through Grenada's stunning scenery in our unique and fun tuk-tuks. It's the perfect blend of adventure and island flavor. Book your unforgettable tour now at ride.gd or call 473-422-1011. Don't just see Grenada, experience it with Ride Tuk Tuk Rum Punch Tours today.
You call me to it's the level, high the level, raise the level, up it,
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Right. Power to the people we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit that succeed. Every show with a good beat. Together we glad to see. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island.
Thank you again for watching, guys, and being a part of our program. Thanks to our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, and all the moderators and team here at Ride Along Live. Guys, don't forget that if you have a business and you want to send it viral right here on Ride Along Live, consider advertising on Ride Along Live. Yeah, send your business out to the world on a platform that reaches over 12 million views per month. It's amazing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program, guys. Catch you guys again tomorrow.
With such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong.
I also have to tell you guys, if you're looking for a taxi service at any time in Grenada, you can also call 422-1011. That's taxi or island tour. Check it out at ride.gd or call 422-1011.
Waves across the seas, love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please, bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
RideAlong Live.
Ride along live, worldwide. Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing.